Good evening and welcome to Ville News. I'm Kevin Lynch alongside Michael Keehan, here to give you the latest local, state, and national headlines.
Coming up, we have updates on a helicopter crash on the Hudson River and detention centers in El Salvador. Stay tuned because Ville News starts now.
Thursday, April 10th, a family of 5 from Spain and 1 pilot sightseeing over Manhattan in a Bell 206 Long Ranger 4 helicopter crashed into the Hudson River, killing all 6 passengers on board, with 3 of those passengers being children. Bystander Dominic Cognata recalled the incident to NBC, saying, quote, "It sounded like an engine just dying, and I just turned, I look, and I saw the helicopter crash and splashing to the water," end quote. Cognata called 911 after seeing the chopper hit the water. He then attempted to take a video of the helicopter after getting off the phone, but it appeared to have already sunk into the river. Cognata described the event as extremely tragic. Quote, "It was crazy. I walk along this path almost like every day for exercise, and to just see that live," Cognata said, "You know, I've lived here my whole life. I've witnessed 9/11. I worked in the next building," end quote. Following the tragedy, New York Helicopter Charter Inc., the company that operated the Bell 206 Long Ranger 4, voluntarily shut down operations on Sunday, April 13th. The director of operations was immediately fired following the voluntary shutdown, which led to the FAA grounding the helicopter company after the fatal crash.
On April 14th, El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele met U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House to discuss crackdowns on immigration and gang violence. While in the Oval Office, reporters asked Bukele and Trump about the status of Kymari Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man who was wrongfully deported to an El Salvadoran detention center without being accused of a crime. Despite the Supreme Court unanimously ordering the return of Abrego Garcia, the Trump administration has refused to return him and falsely accused him of being a criminal. Bukele did the same, saying, quote, "How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? Of course I'm not going to do it. The question is preposterous," end quote. At the meeting, Trump also suggested sending homegrown U.S. citizens to said detention centers, a policy many journalists and academics described as unconstitutional. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen announced he would travel on Wednesday to El Salvador to check in on Abrego Garcia and advocate for his return.
When we get back, updates on an arson attack towards Governor Shapiro and a magistrate judge convicted of attempted homicide. Ville News will be right back. At around 2 a.m. on Sunday, April 13th, Governor Shapiro's Pennsylvania residence was damaged due to an arson attack from a Dauphin County resident. The suspected attacker, named Cody Balmer, broke into the governor's residence, destroyed windows, and burned portions of the residence by putting gasoline in glass bottles, which is known as Molotov cocktails, and would throw these into the mansion. Shapiro and his family were asleep inside the residence at the time of the attack and were able to exit the premises safely with no injuries reported as Pennsylvania State Police arrived. Hours before the attack, Shapiro and his family hosted a Passover dinner, with posting to social media platforms wishing a happy Passover to those celebrating. In response to the attack, Shapiro said to the media, quote, "I refuse to let anyone who has evil intentions like that stop me from doing the work that I love, to stop me from being a leader of this commonwealth," end quote. Balmer is currently in custody with multiple warrants being obtained by local investigators. One of these warrants was for his cellular device, for which revealed that he called 911 under an hour after the attack and turned himself in to the state police. In the 911 call, he states why he committed the attack by saying that Shapiro needed to, quote, "stop having my friends killed," end quote, with Balmer referencing Palestinian people. Balmer is currently being held without bail for charges of aggravated arson, attempted terrorism, and attempted murder.
A magistrate judge in Pennsylvania has been convicted of attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges. Sonia McKnight, a magistrate judge from Dauphin County, has been convicted following accusations of her shooting and wounding her ex-boyfriend in the head while he slept in his home in February 2024. When McKnight shot her estranged husband in 2019, she had not been charged on the grounds of self-defense. For this incident, though, prosecutors argued and believed that McKnight did not like that her ex-boyfriend and had asked her to leave his home. After the shooting, the ex-boyfriend had testified that he could not see but that McKnight was the only other person he knew of in the home at the time. McKnight was previously suspended without pay due to her violating judicial probation from a prior misconduct case related to a 2020 traffic stop with her son. Sonia McKnight's defense request to be released was rejected, and she's currently dealing with up to 60 years in prison when sentenced on May 28th.
When we get back, we'll have updates on an upcoming music festival in Lancaster City and a drunk driving incident in Marietta. Phil News will be right back. The Launch Music Festival and Conference will return for the 17th annual time during this Easter weekend. There will be over 150 upcoming artists performing at venues across Lancaster City from the evening of April 17th until the early hours of April 20th. Some venues to catch the performances include Lancaster County Convention Center, Penn Square, Plow Restaurant, Rural City Tap Room, Telus 360, the Village Nightclub, Isaac's Craft Kitchen and Brewery, and the Lancaster Marriott. Headliners include hip-hop artist Dave East, rock band Deadlands, indie alternative band The Dream Eaters, and indie pop-punk band House and Home. Launch founder Jeremy Weiss shared his excitement for the 17th annual event, saying, quote, "I just love watching the city bursting forth with live music, outside at the square and pouring out of many of our clubs, bars, and restaurants," end quote.
This past Monday, April 15th, a pedestrian was hit by a man under the influence. Michael A. Green was drunk behind the wheel of a blue Mazda when he hit a person at the intersection of North Gay Street and Longnecker Avenue, located in Marietta Borough. Green is now charged with misdemeanor DUI, summary disregarding traffic lanes, and felony aggravated assault by vehicle. Susquehanna Regional Police also determined that Green crashed into a different pedestrian on February 1st. Officers took him in and observed signs that Green was impaired and taken into custody at the scene. At that time, he was charged with the DUI. The condition of the pedestrian had not been released, and the police have kept it confidential.
That's all we had this week for Ville News. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in next week for the latest local, state, and national headlines.